007 First Light is officially here. No more of that Access YouTuber nonsense. And yes, I'm looking directly at you, SkillUp. We can finally see the game for ourselves and judge, is it good or is it bad? And boys, it's exactly as we anticipated. 007 First Light is a complete disaster. And no, I am not being dramatic for the sake of being dramatic this time. It's true. And it's very interesting because the opinions on this game are so incredibly split. So if you instantaneously disagree with me, that's actually kind of fine because you're gonna understand what I mean by this a little bit later in the video when we look at a couple of things, because we have a lot of stuff to look at. We got the Steam charts, which are diabolic, and this one's factual, so there's no real disputing it. We have the gameplay, the graphics, the story, the wokeness, and people are unbelievably split on all of this. So first of all, let's start with the Steam charts. 3K reviews and below 90%, not a hugely below, but 87.8% positive review score, which is very, very strange. But in any case, currently, yesterday's peak was 57.2k players, and today, needless to say, the graph is going up. It is currently, as of making of this video, only 12 p.m. for our American friends, so you don't get confused. And, well, the graph is going to go up, so it is definitely going to get a new high score of players. And one very important thing to notice is the graph's not going up like this, the graph is going up like this. Which means maybe we get 70k players, maybe we get 65k players, maybe we get even 80k players. But you need to also remember that this is currently Wednesday, and it released on Tuesday. There is a reason all the big companies release only on, well, pretty much they try to hit Thursday now, or Wednesday, worst case scenario, because that's how you can guarantee that the Steam DB looks the best for Saturday and Sunday, which should be the big peaks. So we're still expecting this, but currently, this is not good. 57k players is pretty good, and even if it hits 65k players, this is one of the most disastrous things ever, because this is by IO Interactive. And, well, this game costs a lot of money. I'm not sure how much cost this, but there is no fucking world where this thing probably has costed below 300 million to make. So at this point, if it has sold, I don't know, 500 copies with a price range of, I actually don't know the price of this, but whatever, let's assume it's $50. That's not enough money. 500k copies sold for $50 is not even a dent in the budget, and this thing is super expensive. Every single person in this game is some kind of TV star, Hollywood star, and it has a shit ton of YouTubers, which we're gonna see later on. Yes, they literally put everyone and your grandmother in this thing. And that costs a lot of money. They're all facially animated, which means they have the expensive motion capture stuff and all of this. Okay? It is not looking good. Financially, First Light is looking real bad. Really bad. Again, best case scenario, this thing is only like 250 million budget-wise. Flat out, there's no world where it's less. And with 50k concurrent players, it's not the biggest disaster in the world, but my god, is it not a win? Well, it is a disaster, you get the point. In any case, currently First Light is getting absolutely glowing, stunning, and brave reviews from pretty much almost everyone. I told you that this is gonna be, yesterday, I told you that this is gonna be your next 10 out of 10 IGN, even though IGN's not on the list. And it's very interesting because there are people who are going against the grain in the funniest way. This is by PC Gamer, by the way, and this is the most hilarious article. I'm not gonna read it, but I'm gonna summarize it for you, okay? I wanted to play a Hitman game. I bought the 007 First Light game, and I'm now disappointed because it wasn't a Hitman game. We do not hate some people nearly as much as we should, and gaming journalists are the first in line, boys. Yes, this is literally, I wanted a Hitman game, I proceeded to not buy a Hitman game, I'm disappointed some magically how. The fucking article. Unbelievable. And let's talk about the gameplay. A lot of people are talking about the gameplay. I talked about it yesterday also. It is Batman Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, or whatever the Batman games are type of combat. I mean, just look at this, by the way. Some of the environment destruction effects are pretty neat, by the way. There's some reflection on there. Pretty nice. I mean, the combat, I don't personally like the Arkham style of melee combat, but I understand that some people do. And this is personal preference, I would like to say. But anyway, you get it. And the funniest thing is, this is a 3.6 million view tweet, and bro, the environment reacts to everything I do in this fight. First Light has more Rockstar level immersion action attack. Bro, oh, the environment barely, by the way, actually, the only part where the environment does react to what's happening is this, when the guy gets slammed into this into the, you know, window. But even then, it's only a crack. It doesn't break, and the handle gets knocked. The environment very visibly does not react to everything you do. We see that perfectly here, for example. Look. Oh, that was a little bit too late. Watch. Now, the environment does... You can literally see a bug. The environment does not respond to anything you do. Here also, by the way, I'm not going to show it. I already failed at that. But here, nothing reacts to anything. And this is a 3.6 million post about how everything reacts to everything you do. Like, get out. Just get out. What is this? You just lie and post something that directly disproves your point. It's a miracle. This is the driving.
Oh, no!
Yes.
Oh.
The driving in this game has been pretty much just added because, I don't know, James Bond drives fancy cars. And that's kind of it. Right now, though, all I can do is review the 007 First Light that exists in my head. By the way, these are the paid media that are giving this game reviews. And this is one of the better reviews, okay? I thought it was a bold move to have James Bond announce the long legacy of British imperialism and devote his life to armed struggle amongst third world liberation movements, but I liked it. Maybe that goes differently if you failed the QTE to read the collective works of blah blah blah. This person reviewed the game and literally made their own fucking headcanon for it. You cannot make this level of insanity up, okay? And the amount of and, you know, by the way, the gameplay, the shooting-wise, I thought personally that shooting is going to be the best part because the stealth is just god-awful. People are complaining that you can literally suplex someone right next to someone else and they are going to be just completely oblivious. The NPCs, when it comes to stealth takedowns or stealth in general, are just awful. Awful. They're brain dead. There is no question about this, okay? It is a long shot somehow from, you know, what Hitman even did previously, even though it's the same studio. We have like a billion cameos from famous YouTubers, TikTokers, and whatever's. Look at this. There are so many of these. There are so many of these. By the way, I thought the shooting was going to be the best part, but people are even complaining about that. I don't know how much I agree with this, because the shooting looks, honestly, it looks like Payday, so I don't think that's bad. But there are some people who are even complaining about the shooting. I personally don't feel it, but whatever. There are so many cameos. Look at this. This is, they fucking put in Shroud. They put in Shroud.
See it. That was the first time I saw that, by the way.
Yeah, they put in a ton of these people in. It is insane. They did the motion capture and then they put in a bunch of famous people as a poor man's attempt at marketing. This is probably, by the way, because these idiots think that this patch was successful because of the things. No, this patch was successful because people saw the gooning possibilities and then it blew up. No, seriously, by the way, that is this patch. It completely failed when it first released. And then the romance options started trending on Twitter and it became a massive success. All the literal tens of millions combined subscribers of these people who voiced and acted for this patch, they all failed. And only the literal gooning appeal saved this patch. And this is why this is why I think that First Light actually has these cameos from all these massive people, because they think this is gonna work, even though it's obviously not gonna work. This is from Fandom Pulse. Video game expert and developer Your Torch blah blah blah. He calls something out, and effectively, I don't agree with this because you previously had a woman. You know, the original, what's her name? I forgot. I'm not that huge of a Bond guy, but he has always been bossed around by a woman. The real issue now, it's intentional that it's a woman and bossing you around. And by the way, an absolute, well, this is not, by the way, the one that actually bosses you around. That one's Indian, okay? All the meaningful roles in life, India. Keep that in mind. But this is just like a, I don't know. But she also bosses you around. In the original Bond, yeah, there were women, but they were reasonable. They actually seemed like people. In this game, it's just a bunch of caricatures. And now this is where the discussion about wokeness in the First Light is like the big issue. This is actually the biggest issue because we need to gatekeep the shit out of gaming even harder. 007 First Light is just proving it. Because this game is woke, okay? Every second person you encounter in this game is literally a black female for some reason. You get bossed and called stupid by them. It's a joke. But they're all side character and ignorable enough, and the game is decent enough on its own for people to play it. And this is how we get shit games, okay? They're not trying to push it down your throat like previously. Now they're being a lot more discreet about it. Now they're all kind of approaching the Kingdom Come Deliverance way of pushing narratives, but they're incorporating it faster and it's visible. But it's not always in your face. So a lot of people are currently giving it a pass. Even though, no, this game is ridiculously woke. There is no question. It's just the line in the sand drawn here is not the extreme one that we're used to. This is not Mixtape. This is not Dragon Age Railguard. But it is woke, and the game definitely suffers for it. A lot of the story elements, a lot of the dialogues, they suffer because of it. And people are currently kind of overlooking it a lot. Judging from my last video, I would like to say that roughly like 1/3 of the people playing this, who typically would be against wokeness, seem to be more or less fine with this, which is a problem. Again, this is 100% without question woke. But it's done in such a way that it's not exactly in your face. Heelver's babyface actually playing the game, saying it's rough. We have even fucking Endymion. Endymion, great guy, friend of the channel, very smart, blah, 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 blah. And even he says that the game is not exactly atrocious. It's pretty decent. And again, I said that previously. From the gameplay, even if the stealth is like fucking baby's first stealth game, Lamau, it's pretty decent. The shooting seems decent. The melee, even though it's definitely not for me, I'm not an Arkham series fan. But there's a lot of people who that is exactly what they want, and that's fine. That's understandable. That's good. The game seems okay enough to play. Everyone's kind of saying that because that watching it, seeing it, it does seem to be the right thing, honestly. And by the way, dude, we talked about this a Blue Thunder guy when it came to mixtape. And you got also people like this blatantly shilling this game. They bought a lot of shills, by the way. And this is one of the guys. I'm pretty sure, by the way, this is bought at this point because this is we talked about this guy when it came to mixtape. He is a massive fake channel. It seems like, because look at this. He has 160k subs. He has 7 videos, and most of them don't break 50k. There's only this one that's seemingly locked out. Yeah. He has a bunch of shorts that are not, by the way, also doing good. Maybe when he's doing some kind of Lego Batman nonsense. But still. Okay? And this is the guy who got given mixtape, and now he's telling everyone that 007 Last Night is the best thing ever. And he's one of those access people. He got the early access. And I mean, this is what effectively the game is. Again, there is no denying that it's woke. And this is a problem because a lot of people are seemingly okay enough to accept this level of woke, okay? That's it. And yes, there are some parts, like for example this, which is kind of nice, even though they're not. I don't think there's a single white woman in this game, but whatever. And it's gonna go up. I wonder how far it's gonna go up. Oh, look at that! It's a new high. There we go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it's gonna obviously break a new one, but even if it gets 100k, even if it gets 100k concurrent players, and we can estimate that the sales numbers are probably gonna be close to 1 million because no one's fucking hype buying this shit. Currently, people are afraid, to say the least, and waiting for reviews and whatnot. But, you know, even if this gets 100k, and again, how much does this cost? Let me actually check real quick. Let me just go on Steam. $70! Are you fucking kidding? Wow. Wow, the fact that it actually has this many concurrent players and it's $70 is kind of fucking insane. Wow. Wowie wooba, in fact. But yeah, again, even if it sells 1 million copies, which it theoretically could, by the way, by the end of the week, I do think it is possible. I do think it is possible. It's likely, in fact, I would say. It's more likely than not. 1 million copies, 70 buckaroonie price tag, minus 30% off of Steam. That's 49. Let's round it up for 50. Yeah, that's 50 million. 50 million is a lot of money, but again, there is no world where this shit is not in the average of 250 to 350 million to make. There's no world. All of the cameos alone, all of the cars, even all of the cars that you see in this game require licensing. And by the way, the 007 is an IP. James Bond is an IP that you need to rent to actually be able to do anything with it. So, there is no world where this shit breaks even. It doesn't exist. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.